Well,
Dad, you switch
Jonathan
first.
Smith.
Misty Smith. Judy Sneed.
Bo Smith.
Jeff Sneed.
Josh Adams.
All right. I want you guys to close your eyes. Imagine, I know you can't just imagine it's summertime, but imagine it's summertime. The temperatures are rising. You are out shopping or running errands, and you begin to break a sweat just walking to your car. So you reach for your keys and you immediately turn your car on, pointing all the vents at your face to cool your body down. You are able to get in and out of your car on your own because you're an adult and that's your car. You know what to do if you need to go and get help. Now imagine that it's a child that is strapped in their 5-point harness and they are in the car with the windows rolled up. The car is not turned on. It is 90 degrees outside, but inside of the car, it's 10 degrees hotter. They can't get out of their car seat. They can't go and get help. This is something that happens every day all over the world, not just in the United States, but all over the world. What do you think that child is going through? What if no one notices, and what if no one shows up in enough time to get them out of that car? How can we keep the children in the world safe from losing their life because a parent or caregiver didn't want to deal with taking the child inside or forgetting their child is even in the car? So today I want to talk to you about the danger of children being left alone in a hot car and what could be done to reduce the number of children being unattended. First, we'll discuss why parents might leave their children in cars and what the outcome is if they are left for a small or significant amount of time. Then I will discuss what different states are doing to hold parents and caregivers accountable for neglecting to take their children out of the car. Finally, I will discuss a policy that I have developed that could potentially help lower the number of vehicular heat stroke fatalities as well as children being left in cars in general. As a parent, the thought of getting your child out of the car in the heat might trigger you to say, "Stay here, I'll be right back." It might sound as if the child or the parent is caring. However, more parents today are becoming lazy. They don't want to take the child out and put the child back in 10 or 15 times while they're out running errands. So they make the decision to turn the car off, roll the windows down, or even crack the windows, and think to themselves, they'll be okay for just a minute. But things happen. You might get stuck talking to a friend in the store that you haven't seen in a while, or the line at the checkout counter may be longer than what you anticipated. Even though you think it won't take a long time, you really can't control how long an errand might take. According to kidsincars.org, on average, 38 children die each year from heat-related car deaths. That's on average. From 1990 to 2019, there have been 872 children who have passed away because of a vehicular heat stroke. In 1990, there was 5. And as of today, because I checked this website earlier, I checked it yesterday, and there was 18, but as of today, there is now 19 children who have lost their life because they were left in a vehicle. Kidsincars.org is a great place to look up statistics on dangers related to children and cars. You can download resource materials. You can also order materials from them to help keep these tragedies from happening. Amber Rollins, director, and Tara Lamonte, associate director of kidsincars.org, are both responsible for collecting the data and maintaining the website for kidsincars.org. Children who have been left in hot cars go through many stages to try to cool their bodies down. So first, they start sweating, which is something that that our body does to try and cool the inside of our body down. They become agitated and they become confused. They begin to cry because they cannot understand what's happening. They get dehydrated, causing a lack of oxygen to their brain and causes dizziness. They go into a severe dehydration, which stops the sweating process and then they can begin experience a heat stroke, which can cause the child to have seizures, hallucinations. Their heart rate will become irregular or can increase. They could also slip into a coma or even die. Because the body's internal body temperature is too high, the heat causes the body cells, it results in the organs to finally just start shutting down. For small children, this is a fight they will more than likely lose. As adults, we have a bigger body mass than children do, so it takes longer for us to experience all these symptoms than it would for them. So what might take 15 minutes for them might take us an hour to experience. So a child could suffer severe damage being trapped in a hot car for just 15 minutes. A professor from the University of South Florida by the name of Dr. David Diamond believes that parents who recently have had changes in their routine or are extremely stressed suffer from something called forgotten baby syndrome. So the parent creates a new priority in their mind, believing that they don't have a child in their car, or they've already dropped that child off at school, and they just move on to work, where then the child is left alone in the vehicle. In my opinion, this is just an excuse to avoid punishment from being negligent. Many parents are aware of what they are doing and most likely will make up a lie to avoid being arrested, or they honestly think that it's okay for them to leave their child unattended in the car. People leave their dogs in the car, why not children? The following examples I'm going to give you are videos that were found and that show parents are fully aware of what they are doing when they leave these children in the car. Most recently, so this was in June of this year, 2019, a mother of a 1-year-old child from Owasso had recently left her child in the car. Her and her friend decided to go to the liquor store. They cracked the front windows, they turned the air conditioner on too low, but then they turned the car off. The child was left roaming alone in the vehicle, and a bystander came by and noticed that the child was crying. They immediately called the authorities. The local police came and tried to open the door, which was locked. When the two women came out of the store, he immediately took action, telling them to unlock the door so they could get the child out. They arrested both women. When the mother was asked, "What the heck were you thinking?" her response was, "The car was on." July 2017 in Vancouver, there are 2 different videos. The first was of 2 people, a man and a woman, who were both involved in taking action on this mother. The mother left her children in the car. The man was videoing, the woman was on the phone with police authorities. They asked why the mother left the children in the car. She said the top window was open, which was the sunroof, and I was only in the store for 5 minutes. They then stood behind the mother's vehicle so that she couldn't move, and in the second video, the police officer was shown yelling at the woman while she had her arms crossed and looked at the officer and said, "What are you so mad about?" In New Zealand, a mother left this was in 2013, the mother left her child in a car with a blanket wrapped around him. When the couple that had approached the car noticed, the child looked as if he was a newborn. On top of the blanket was a note that stated, "My mom's in doing shopping, call her if I need anything," and the mother's cell phone was attached to the note as well. And my last and probably most disturbing video that I want to talk to you about today happened June 26, 2017. A mother tried to get her 16-month-old and her 2-year-old out of her car. They were playing in the car. She asked them to get out. The 2-year-old did not want to get out, so in order to punish them and to teach them a lesson, she shut them in the car and locked the car door. She went into the house, and what she told authorities was that she went in and smoked some marijuana and took a 2 to 3 hour nap. When the mother returned to the car because her children were not in the house, she found them unresponsive. She then broke out the front passenger window and called authorities and told them that they were playing in the car and had locked themselves in, and that she attempted to break them out 30 minutes after that phone call was made, those children had died because of a heat stroke. A month later, she was arrested because she finally called and talked to the authorities and told them what really happened. Currently, 19 states have laws that make leaving your children in the car unattended illegal. Some of the punishments that include being fined $50 to $5,000, jail time for 1 year for your first offense, or classes taken on the dangers of leaving your children in an unattended car. In cases where children have died, they look at the family situation. In some cases, the family faces no punishment. They look at the forgotten baby syndrome. Or in others, it's manslaughter. As a mother of 3, I could not remember a time where I left my children unattended in the car when my car was turned off. My rear view mirror is pointed directly at my 3-year-old, and if I left her in the car, she would scream bloody murder as I'm getting out. Her first words to me are, "Mommy, can I come with you?" And me and my husband are constantly talking to each other, making sure that somebody got her out, me or him or one of our boys. When thinking about a policy that we could implement to help with this situation, I really had to think hard. I did some research and noticed that car dealerships are coming up with ideas, but they didn't really say what they were coming up with. And I found a little boy in Texas who had developed and is still working on it today. He actually has raised $31,000 to get this patent, but you can go into a store and purchase it. It is a device you connect to the child's car seat, and it also connects to them where it either takes their heart rate or their body temperature. When it senses that something is wrong, it immediately will send a message to the parent's phone and to the local police station, and then it will prompt this device to turn on a fan or air conditioning system so the child cannot become even hotter, and that way somebody can get to them. So what I was thinking was we could develop something to put into new cars so that every new car by law would come equipped with this feature. So what they would do is there would be a mechanism in the back that would weigh anything over what a car seat would weigh, and when you go to turn the car off, it would not automatically shut down. It would do an auto lock on the cars, and you would be prompted, are you aware of the extra weight in your back seat? If the driver selected no, the screen would prompt you to do a scan of the back seat with a recording. The only way to retrieve this recording is to go to the local dealership. They would download it and immediately send it to the police department. You would have no way to get that for yourself. If the driver answers yes, the prompt will inform you that you have 60 seconds to open the rear door and remove the extra weight before a signal is sent with a GPS location to the local police station for an officer to be dispatched to your location for a locked child check. Both of these would, if you did not get the child out, the car would continue to stay running whether you tried to turn the car off or not. And if you selected no and you looked anyway and the car got shut off, then you would automatically be responsible for that child being left in that car. If this is implemented, it's less likely a child will be left in a hot vehicle unattended for more than 10 minutes. More than likely, it would probably be 5. Children matter. They need somebody to advocate for them. I will stand up to save a child's life. I will enter a car if I find a child alone who cannot exit the car. So in closing, I would like to encourage all parents, new and old, or caregivers to pull up a video on YouTube filmed and published by Red Castle Crusade. It is titled One Decision, Child Safety, Film Vehicular Heat Stroke. The film is probably 7 minutes and 42 seconds long. It simulates what a child feels and what they go through for the first 15 minutes being unattended and locked in a hot car. If you don't take anything else away from today, I ask you that you remember this slogan: look before you lock.